All right, howdy internet people. So this video I'm going to walk through the basic procedure for getting what I call the dump information from the MegaTracker. So MegaTracker setup can be a little bit complicated. Sometimes people have issues, or even if you want to basically get a hard copy of all your configuration information, your settings. Dump file is a good way to do that, so you have that for future reference. And if for some reason you need to replace your unit or get another one and want to set it up, you've got all the information for easy reference. So and it's wonderful for debugging anything that may be going on with the system that you don't understand, because it's got all the settings, and so you can send that file to me, and most of the time it helps me to easily help resolve the situation. So without further ado, let's get to it. So okay, here we have our basic MegaTracker board, and so this is the older style. It's got the I think it's the USB A style, A or B, whatever it is. It's a big square one. So the I think most of 2018 we were shipping these newer boards that have small USB, same type that you would find on your same type that you would find on your smartphone. Yeah, whichever type it is, just you know, connect the USB cable, and that should power up the board. And let's see, booting up here. So now we need to, and of course I've got this connected on my computer here to the USB port. So now we need to open up some serial software. All right, so we're going to launch a TerraTerm session here. And so before I actually connect here, I'm going to go ahead and just make sure we're configured. So you should already have your terminal port set up. Default 9600, 8-bit, none, 1, data parity and stop, all standard stuff. So whatever port you're connected to, show up there. What's really helpful once we get connected here is to have local echo turned on, so that lets us see whatever we type. Otherwise you can't see what you type, it won't show up on the screen. So that's basically it though now. And so now we're going to tell it, well actually let me go ahead and choose bigger font here. Okay, so now I go new connection. We're not doing a TCP/IP connection, we're doing a serial connection. So whatever COM port was established when you connected your MegaTracker should show up here. I've only got one device connected, so I only have one choice there, so there it is. So select that, and that should cause the MegaTracker to reboot. And the MegaTracker basically does a dump automatically when it starts up, so we don't have to, we could just copy this information, but I'm just going to go ahead and walk through a little bit of using the serial command interface here. So we've got the prompt here. I can type in question mark, and we see the list of currently available commands. And basically this matches, if you were to scroll through the menu the Mega Tracker. These are the same items you'd see in the menu. So if we type info here, we're now on the information menu. We can see the various choices here. So status is showing the current motor angles, and so solar will show us the current date, time, and calculated solar positions. If you're having trouble with the, if it's telling you that the sun isn't up, take a look at this. It'll tell you where it thinks the sun is based on your current date, time settings. So anyway, we can type exit and we get back to the root menu. So almost all of the commands that are in the system are available through this interface. So now we're at root. We can't go any farther here. Anyway, you won't see dump as a available menu option. It's a special command. So we'll just type in dump. I'll just go ahead and put a question mark here so it'll show us the options. So here's the options for the dump command. We can type dump all, which is the same as if we don't say anything. We just have it show the tracking parameters or the I/O ports or either of the motors or our solar position calculations. So I'm just going to say dump and have it dump all the information here. Quite a bit, as you can see. So I'll just do a quick walkthrough and just highlight some of the relative areas here in the dump file. So here we are beginning where I issued the dump command, and see it has some basic information here about our unit, the software version. Here we have some of the real basic tracking configuration here. Time zone, latitude, longitude, tracking period. These are the parking positions, pulse counts. Those are set for minimum elevations, east and west, maximum motor run time. Clock adjust is important for keeping your system clock running properly, so it specifies the number of seconds to add or subtract each day. So let's see, then we get into the what we call the ports. So these are extra connections that we can establish for various purposes. So all this shows here whether it's in this particular port is configured for input or output, analog or digital, and various information about that. What parameter that port would be assigned to. So, for example, if we were using LEDs, or maybe we've got an output relay for that goes associated with parking or something like that. There's a lot of options available there. Anyway, the motor parameters are probably going to be the most relevant here. So this is an issue of line feed versus carriage return. Here, I'm sorry for that. But so here for motor 1, we have the actual pins of the microprocessor that are driving it, and so this basically is details associated with our motor driver configuration. When you select the HP2 driver configuration, that should all be just fine. So here we see the mode for this motor. It's a azimuth axis. We're currently configured for gear as opposed to actuator, and it's an east return. So there's a lot of stuff that's not so relevant here. A lot of it is. So this is the number of milliseconds. 500 milliseconds equals half a second. Stall period between pulses. We've got this would be used with the gear, but if we had an actuator, here would be the pulse per unit length. The maximum number of pulses, i.e. our limit. Here's the measurements. If we were using an actuator, that would be the measurements associated with the actuator arm, our control radius, etc. Here's the pulse counts associated with our alignment points. A little further on down here, we see the actual angle values associated with those alignment points. Here's the absolute minimum and maximum angles that are calculated by the system based on the pulse count, etc. So we've got the same for information for M2 here, and elevation axis. And then lastly here we've got the solar tracking position calculation information. So once again, a lot of here you can see where there's a air pressure factors in, but anyway, so what we want to do is copy all of this output. And if you're having troubles anyway, and you need some assistance resolving it, you can just take all this and select and drag my cursor here. Select it all. I'm going to say copy. And then we're just going to open up a notepad window and paste that and save it as mega dump info. So there's my tracking information all saved to a file. Use this for future reference, or attach this to an email and use that for tech support. So that's the basics of it. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching.